That's how it starts. The fever, the rage, the feeling of powerlessness that turns good men cruel.
Hi everyone, this is Eric Walkuski with JoBlo.com, and this is my review of Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice. You can expect very minor spoilers in this review, especially if you've seen the trailers. The film is, of course, Zack Snyder's follow-up to Man of Steel, a film I enjoyed despite its many problems. I just felt the need to preface this review with that. After a familiar prologue introducing us to Bruce Wayne and a fairly exciting look at the climactic Man of Steel finale from Bruce's perspective, the film picks up 18 months later after the original Man of Steel. A Senate committee has been put together to investigate the actions of Superman, figuring out whether or not he should be put in check. Now, how does one put Superman in check, you may ask? With kryptonite, of course, and some of that has been recovered from General Zod's destroyed ship. Interested in weaponizing the kryptonite is billionaire Lex Luthor, an eccentric with an obvious god complex who is completely intent on ruining Superman's existence. Not far behind in that thinking is Bruce Wayne, aka Batman. Older and more bitter than ever, Bruce has a personal grudge against Superman because of the destruction he witnessed firsthand. Bruce has become disaffected with his lot in life and begins to wonder if putting a stop to Superman, who could be Earth's greatest threat, is his true purpose. Now that's a bare-bones description of the plot, of course, but honestly the quagmire of what to do with Superman takes up about half the film's runtime. There's a lot of arguing between characters about the positives and negatives of having Superman around, and while Superman himself mostly mopes around as Clark Kent, there isn't a whole lot of Superman action going on in this film. The reality of Batman vs. Superman is there isn't all that much Batman in it either, at least in the first half. The first half is a lot of talking, a lot of exposition. It takes a very long time for this movie to build up any real energy. It's quite ponderous, to be honest. I don't expect wall-to-wall action here, but something resembling excitement would be nice. As it is, the first real action sequence of the film goes down about an hour into it, and it's a rather unexceptional car chase at that. The main showdown between our two heroes takes even longer to get to, and while that's probably the best sequence in the film, it still left me wanting a little bit, perhaps because I was waiting so long for it to occur. The third act does finally bring a lot of spectacle with it, as the two frenemies face off against a common foe called Doomsday. But at that point, the movie goes into a frenzied CGI mode, with Doomsday being just another unimpressive digital creation. He's certainly not a memorable villain, despite all the growling and smashing he does. Sadly, Batman vs. Superman's big finale is more of the same. Blurry, dark, computer-generated mayhem it seems like we see time and time again. But my biggest complaint about Batman vs. Superman, overall, it's just not all that fun. It may please the superhero movie fans who prefer their movies brooding and depressing, but for me, I wouldn't mind if at least there was a few moments of levity here and there. Everything is so glum, there's hardly any light to be found. Even Chris Nolan's famously dour Batman movies had some bounce to them. Batman vs. Superman just kind of sits there. We keep wondering when it's going to take off. Before you call me a hater, though, I'll tell you some of the good things about the film. I like Ben Affleck as Bruce Wayne. He's the right age for this conflicted, angry version of the character, and he brings some genuine pathos to Bruce. I also still think Henry Cavill is spot-on casting for Superman. I liked him in Man of Steel, and I enjoyed his portrayal here. Wonder Woman doesn't have a ton of screen time, but when she finally arrives, it's very fun. Gal Gadot is, for what she's given to do, a very fine casting choice, and it makes me wish Wonder Woman were actually in the film more. As for the other major casting addition, Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor is, well, a different take on the character for sure. He's twitchy, hyper, weird in the extreme. It's a unique take on Lex, but it also felt out of tune with the rest of the movie. It's like Jesse was directed by somebody else. His portrayal does become a little bit irritating after a while, to be honest, but at least he's bringing some odd energy to the proceedings. On the whole, man, I wish I had liked this movie more. I left the theater kind of bummed, depressed, not excited about what I had seen, not excited about what's to come for this franchise. I give it a 5 out of 10, and I actually hope you guys like it more than I did. For JoBlo.com, this is Eric Walkuski, and I'll see you next time.
She with you?
I thought she was with you.